Hello there everyone, it is Alliance War time. I wasn't going to upload this season because of the incredibly well-balanced war map we have, but I've decided to do some uploads. Essentially I'm going to do 2 wars at a time for both accounts, so there's going to be 4 fights per video. Starting off, this is not War 1 and 2, this is 3 and 4. 1 and 2 does not exist. So starting off, we have the Salty account first against GT in War 3. We did lose this war. We just did not play our best, but I had this Thanos versus Zola, which, yeah, this fight is not fun. I think it is me just playing bad, but this fight is actually in this video twice, because I took it against God of War as well, which was Salty's 4th war, and both times it is a sprint to the finish, because the cleanse on this node only giving 2 charges, in my opinion, is way too low. Should be giving 5 charges like most other nodes. But anyway, basically in this fight with Thanos it is keep counter-punching to keep your stuff paused, keep the armor break up as much as possible. We only have the shatter up because he got a cleanse off on the armor break, which isn't good. And because I'm running suicides for extra damage, we're going to be throwing a lot of SB1s to get that Genesis healing up. Genesis healing does scale with the increased damage, so you'll see at the end I'm getting some pretty crazy healing. Which in the second fight, yeah, that melee goes badly wrong, but that's for later. That doesn't matter now. So starting off, you can see we're nearly 2 minutes in already, and Zola's not even below 80% yet. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I need to get this sped up. So we get the armor break and shatter back on after spamming the counter punch. So that's a good start. And now it's essentially balancing dealing damage, but making sure I don't accidentally die from the suicide mastery. So you can see I just healed about 10% from that combo. So if I throw SB1s, I will stay alive. The only problem is SB1, because of Zola, has no damage in it. I want to be throwing SB2s because the corrosion debuff doesn't have its damage reduced. So I essentially have to balance between throwing SB1s and throwing SB2s. Which, it's quite difficult to balance, especially if Zola doesn't want to play ball with his special attacks. If he's fine with special attacks, this is a relatively easy fight. It's just very long, and by the end, you really have to keep your composure so you don't time out. We've also gone with the Deathless She-Hulk synergy because you might have seen it pop up a few times. Every time I counter-punch intercept, he's taking, he took a burst of red damage. That is, I believe it's meant to be just a corrosion burst on every intercept. So yeah, that's a nice little bit of extra damage. So, 1 minute 50 left, and we're down to about 38%, so we are just about on track, but the armor shatter and armor break did just disappear, which is not good. I try and get them back up, but I accidentally push over a bar of power, so the armor break gets purified. So I go for the SB3 here. It has an indefinite corrosion on it, which ticks for 6,000, which against these 12 million opponents is just... It's a bit of damage. It'll do a couple % over the fight, but it's nothing insane. It's all about that basic damage and the SB2 damage, really, if we can ever get to it. So, about 1 minute left now, and it's looking really tight. I throw an SB1 to get the Genesis healing back up, but at this point I realise I'm not going to finish at this rate. I'm just going to time out, because this warm-up is incredibly balanced. So at this point I decide, nah, we just gotta go. I've got 30% health. I have the protection at 25% health. I've just got to run at this point for the kill. So we start spamming some combos, spamming heavies, SB2, we just throw everything at him at this point. 30 seconds left, 20% health, it's not looking good for us. So, into a relic, into another combo, into the SB2. We get some bigger corrosions off. So now he's ticking for about 40, 50k a second, which is quite good. 15 seconds for 10%. We have to throw a heavy so that he doesn't sleep me, because that would be definite death. And just coming into the ending now, 1%. We get the hit off. 4 seconds to spare. 4 seconds. That was quite close. So now, going into War 3 on FAE account, the mini account, we are using Overseer versus Node, I believe Node 2 Zola. The one with Power Snack and buff immunity, essentially. Buff safety, sorry. So, Overseer is really good here because he is Nullify immune, so you essentially, whenever you get a buff, you're going to get 5 force charges, so this fight's really chill. He also has perfect heavy spacing for Zola, so that's really good. So this fight is literally just keep ramping to 6 of your gamma charges, and then do a load of damage, reset. Because your charges will be naturally going up from the placebo nodes, like you'll see here, there's another 5 charges. And yeah, this fight is very calm, especially after the fight I just had. This was quite a nice one. The only thing is just watch Zola's sleep charges. That is pretty much the only thing you have to care about in this match. Everything else will take care of itself. Also used, I believe it's the Terex synergy here, because that gives me, it's 0.66 seconds extra per gamma buff. So if you go to the max of 6 gamma buffs, then you have an extra 4 seconds on your cosmic mode. It's a nice little damage buff. You don't need it to solo this fight, but like, it's a nice little boost. But here we are. I'm already at 40. I'm at 50 force charges. It's a very easy node to get your charges on if you are Nullify immune. So we drop the SB3 to activate our gamma mode again. Does no damage because Zola is a very nice champion. So yeah, I fight 3 Zolas in this video out of the 4 fights. Great fun. Just great fun. But anyway, we have lost a lot of health so far, but I knew that it wouldn't matter because as the fight comes to the end, I'm just doing an insane amount of damage because we nearly max out the force charges, which is a bit nuts. But yeah, another SB1. Nice thing about Dex as well is Dex actually gives you 10 charges. 1 on the activation and then another 1 on when you actually hit the opponent. So that's quite nice. But yeah, 2 minutes and 20 in now. And Zola's at 55% health, but he will start going down a lot faster now. This is not going to be like the Thanos fight. I accidentally slipped the heavy there. Went a bit too early, but oh well, things happen. Get that heavy off there instead. So Zola's back to 0 charges. We're at 6 gamma again. Let's throw a special off. Throw a special 1 this time, which will stun him. So I can go straight in for a combo into another SB1, and then I can get a heavy off to get his charges back down. Yeah, Overseer has some quite nice rotations. So we go in again, and them burst damages are really high, about 170k a pop at this point. So Zola is now just melting, 25% health. I think we did about, that was 30% health in, no, about 40% health in a minute. Just insane amount of damage. Back in again, our cosmic mode got paused on every special, so we've still got quite a bit of it left. And we are now maxed out on charges, so we go in again, 200k damage per burst, and Zola is down. We did end up clutching up this war, it was 4-4 and we won on time, so lost to GT on Salty account, but beat SSX on the mini account, so 1-1 to start. Moving into the War 4 fights now, and oh look, it's our best friend again, Mr. Zola. I wonder what would happen this time. Yeah, this one is, to be honest, closer than the first one, for a different reason as well. First one we had 4 seconds left. This one, something else nearly got to me. So yeah, we start off again, same strategy as before. Get ramped up, kept the Genesis on, and essentially just balance it. But as I did a quite bad job this war of balancing the Genesis aura. You will see why at the end. it gets a bit hectic, it gets a little bit scary at the end, but the first 3 minutes or so is essentially the same as the first fight. Just keep knocking him down to keep his force charges down, keep your 8 Furies and Armor Shatter up, get hit by the SB2, no that wasn't the plan but it happened, and just try and get the force charges ramp, because here I'm only at 8 charges, because he is just not activating the cleanse at the right times, because the fatigue is one of the stay close and I'll activate it. You can't really predict when it's coming, so it's quite annoying. Using Thanos' panic to activate the cleanse charges is honestly way more reliable, because at least you know when it's coming. But 1 minute 30 in and Zola's already at 80%, so this is going better than the fight against Andy's Zola. So at this point I'm like, okay, this is a better strategy, starting off with that SB3 to get a nice corrosion on. It does deal a good amount of damage across the fight, but he does get rid of my Armor Shatter and Armor Break, which is annoying. But we throw an SB2 off, get some really nice corrosion damage going. It's ticking for about 30k a second. Really nice. So I get another heavy off, but he cleanses it. What a nice guy. Because it's quite annoying, because the cleanse comes whenever you or the opponent gains a bar of power, so it can be quite hard to manage, especially with Thanos, who has the increased energize. Best strategy is probably stick at an SB3 so that you can't gain any more cleanse charges on accident. But anyway, I think we're switching counter after this war, because yeah, it got a little bit nasty. But now we're at our 20 charges, 8 Furies, Armor Shatter is on but Armor Break is not. But we are just keeping our stuff paused now and healing up. Health wise, we're at the same spot as Zola, but he's actually at about 47%, which is about where he should be in terms of time. So this is going better than the first fight still, but it goes down badly near the end. We finish with an okay amount of time to spare, but I nearly actually die myself. But anyway, moving on. Into another SB2 we go with the max corrosions. About another, what is that, 20k per second, so some nice ticks. 33%, 1 minute 45. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, yeah, we're chilling. This is fine enough. We're not going to be risking timing out this time. Let's just get some healing off. Trigger my last protection, which, if anything, did not help me at all. Because I kind of wanted to save that protection. Anyway, we are at 27%, back up to about 30. I decide to, I believe, go for another SB2 here. Yeah, into another SB2 to get more corrosion ticks. About another, I believe that is 35k pop. So he's at 15% with over a minute left, and I'm like, okay, this is chill. But then I run out of my counterpunch charges. I'm like, oh, that's annoying. I'm at 10%, and I'm like, okay, let's get some healing, and that's fine. We're not healing much because there's no armor break on the opponent, so my basics aren't hitting that hard. Now we're at 7%, ticking down because of the disintegration. I use my relic to get a bit more healing, but now I'm at a spot where if I throw a special, I'm dead. So I have to finish this last 5% out with just my basics, and I also can't take the SB2 because that corrosion, that disintegration will kill me. So I just send it with that SB2, and thankfully we kill. Otherwise, I would have been pretty dead. Definitely dead. Anyway, we do win that war against God of War, GG's to them. Final fight is a very quick one. Quicksilver versus the Root Node. You've probably seen a few videos of this. This is a stupid fight. This is a 6-star Quicksilver as well, but with the tactic doubling his force damage. Ridiculous. The scaling is so stupid, like unbelievably dumb. Tried to bait an SB1 out of her, but she won't give it. So now I just go in, and straight away we are up to 65 force charges. Wow, so difficult. We did actually win this war against LVT. It was 8-8. We both played horrible. But we had someone majorly clutch up at the end. Self-found my GOW. So, another route. We go in again, max out our force charges, throw an SB2. Oh look, dead. Ridiculous scaling. That's going to do it for these two wars. 3 wins, 1 loss overall. See you all next time.